Hi there, my name is Michelle, and it all began when I was 8 years old. Upon my parents' divorce, I found myself abruptly residing with my grandparents. After relocating to a different state, Dad made a few phone calls before poofing and disappearing entirely. Mom wed a wealthy businessman and then went off to Europe after a couple of years. That was the day my mom departed. We were embraced tightly as she wiped away her tears. "I will come to see you, darling. I swear," she reassured him. I came to trust her. Sometimes children act foolishly like that. Her word was kept for a while. She would drop by once a year on my birthday, without fail. No spouse, no fresh bundle of joy. The fact that Mom had a sister whom I had never met was completely slipped my mind. However, Mom would appear, brimming with presents, the scent of pricey perfume, and tales of her wonderful new life. Normalcy resumed. Going to class, making friends, and acting normally were all things I did. However, this void was always there. Where my parents ought to have been lies a void. It was filled to the brim by Grandpa and Grandma. On weekends, Grandpa would take me fishing and show me the ropes. There was never a moment when Grandma wasn't whipping up a delicious meal, and she'd even let me help out by showing me her special recipes. Grandpa fell ill when I was 13 years old. The physicians diagnosed cancer. It was violent and swift. Just the other minute he was there, demonstrating how to fix a dripping faucet while making his usual cheesy comments. He vanished the following day. Only Grandma, me, and a few neighbors attended the modest burial. My mom was unable to attend. "Business emergency," she stated while speaking on the phone. The thought of yelling at her to tell her that her own father had died crossed my mind, but that was not the case for me. To my mom, I just replied, "Okay, I understand." Mom abruptly stopped coming to visit me every year when I was 16. Just an apology and no explanation. Complete and utter quiet. My role in initiating phone conversations between us diminished as our relationship deteriorated. On the other hand, I dove headfirst into my studies, successfully completed high school with passing grades. Not much, but it was sufficient to get me admitted to a nearby university. Classes, part-time jobs, and socializing with friends made those years fly by. My time at graduation had flown by, and I was soon throwing my cap in the air. I got a job at a small marketing agency right after I graduated from college. It wasn't flashy, but it was necessary for survival and provided direction in my life. It was all right. Not bad, not spectacular, just all right. At Grandma's place, I had my pals, my routine, and my safe haven. But life, that cunning scoundrel, had different intentions. The problem began with Grandma's forgetfulness. Details at first, like the day and where she had placed her spectacles. I first blamed it on being older, but things quickly escalated. Sometimes she would leave the stove on and then go out in her pajamas. The news of Alzheimer's disease hit like a ton of bricks. It was challenging, but I did my best to tend to her needs. As I watched my mother, my rock, deteriorate, it was like being in hell. I held her hand the day she passed away. For the first time in months, she gave me her full attention. Her voice was scarcely audible as she whispered, "Michelle, my love." After that, she disappeared. While fighting back tears, I contacted Mom. "Mom, Grandma's, she's gone." A considerable delay was heard from the opposite side. "Oh, Michelle," she eventually uttered, her voice strangely low. I apologized deeply. "I am currently unable to escape. Job is just insane. I think you get it." To that end, I was the only one involved in funeral arrangements. Casket, floral, and eulogy writing duties completed. The ceremony was modest, similar to Grandpa's. I was more alone than ever when I saw them bring the coffin down. Returning to Grandma's house after the funeral was like coming home. It seemed too vast and lifeless. However, the idea of departing was too much for me to handle. Here I grew up, surrounded by the love and memories of my parents. Normalcy resumed. I dove headfirst into my job in an effort to make up for Grandma's absence. Time slipped away. Next, a year. Second, two. Unexpectedly, Mom gave me a call. "Michelle, my darling," she chirped, her voice unusually upbeat. "My good news is astounding. Your sister plans to attend university in the United States. What a thrilling prospect." Unprepared, I blinked. "Yeah, I guess that's nice." Mom went on, "Listen, here's the thing," her voice adopting that traitorous sweetness she exhibited whenever she desired anything. "She insists on going solo, but I'm concerned about her safety. It was my sincere wish that she could remain with you." My gut churned. "Mom, I don't think—" "Now, Michelle," she interrupted me, her voice abruptly becoming harsh, "let us not lose sight of the true owner of that house. Just so you know, I'm the immediate successor. Allowing you to reside there is a very gracious gesture on my part. Taking care of your sister would be the bare minimum you could do." The impact was as sharp as a slap. I mumbled something about how Grandma had bequeathed the house to me. She wrote a will. My spine tingled at the sound of my mother's icy laughter. "Oh, my darling, you have no idea how these things function. As long as you lend a hand to your sister, I promise I won't take legal action to claim that house. Do you get it?" My thoughts were racing. Will she be able to steal the house? On the day my sister came, I was filled with despair at the prospect of losing my home, the only remaining link to my grandparents, and my lack of knowledge about inheritance law only served to deepen my despair. As I stood at the airport, clutching a placard that read, "Chloe," I couldn't help feel foolish. Her only appearances in public were in Mom's Facebook shots, where she always appeared model-ready. In my mind, I could see her well. Am I ever mistaken? With her confident stride out of the arrival gate, she was nearly invisible to me. The sibling I'd seen in images didn't resemble this girl at all. Well, she was ideal. Overly ideal, as if she had been plucked from a celebrity impersonation database. "Chloe!" I panicked and yelled out. She pivoted, her enormous shades resting on a nose that was most certainly not the one in the previous pictures. "Oh my God, you must be Michelle," she remarked with a tone that betrayed her contempt. I could see the results of her plastic surgery as she approached. Her physique screamed masterpiece. Her cheekbones were sharp as knives and her lips were perked up like life rafts. Being close to her made me feel like a potato. Chloe began babbling demands like a 5-year-old reciting a Christmas list while we waited for a porter, because evidently that was all the rage now. "We have this incredible maid in Europe who, takes care of everything. Additionally, a chef. Have you made arrangements for that?" Quickly, she sought a response. "Plus, I'll have to bring my own rig. Obviously, nothing inexpensive. Perhaps a Mercedes-Benz." My jaw dropped as I stood there. Was this woman serious? "Flo," I whispered softly, attempting to maintain an accent, "my job is just like any other. Too expensive for me." With a wave of her well-kept hand, she interrupted me. "No big deal. It will be handled by Mom. We should leave right now." I escorted her to my weathered, long-since reserved Honda when we reached the parking area. After glancing at it, Chloe went completely bonkers. What kind of squalor is this? Every statement landed like a blow. "You expect me to ride in that thing?" She pulled out her phone before I could say anything. "Mom, who?" "Oh, it's just me. Michelle is attempting to get me to ride in something that you won't believe. Seriously, it's a trap waiting to happen. So yeah, well, all right. I love you as well." With an arrogant grin on her face, she hung up and faced me. "The automobile service is being organized by Mom. That rust bucket can be yours to keep." After waiting for half an hour, Chloe's elegant town vehicle arrived at Grandma's house. The moment we entered, Chloe's acting took a whole new level. "Ah, it smells like old people and mothballs in here," she cried out. This could be harmful to your health or anything. We must abandon all of this and begin again." As she trampled over the house, pointing out flaws in everything from the faded carpet to the family portraits displayed on the walls, I gazed in terror. Upon entering my bedroom, she carelessly dropped her high-end purse onto the bed. "I claim this room as mine. Rest easy. Anywhere. I have no idea. Perhaps the sofa." Words failed me as I stood there. I used to sleep here. My retreat. The spot where I sobbed myself to sleep following Grandma's passing. Here is where I rejoiced upon landing my very first job, where I preserved every memory. Seeing Chloe's expression, though, made me realize that arguing would serve no purpose. If I dared to disagree with this girl, she would subject me to her usual barrage of demands. A brand-new Mercedes was waiting for me in the garage when I returned from work 1 week after Hurricane Chloe had made landfall in my life. Someone had rudely pushed my battered Honda out onto the roadway. What the hell? In a low voice, I crept inside the house. As she scrolled through her phone, Chloe was splayed out on the couch. She paid no attention at all. There it is, my brand-new ride. My mom remembered to get it for me. You were wasting space with that useless item of yours. Felt like I'd seen it all the day after that. Well, I was completely incorrect. Feeling weary yet eager for a peaceful evening, I made my way home from work. On the contrary, I stepped into anarchy. Strange men in overalls were hauling out old furniture and bringing in new stuff I'd never seen before. The home was full of them. As the chaos unfolded, I discovered Chloe in the garden, enjoying a cocktail while acting as a mini-dictator. She spoke the words, "Oh, you're home," without even looking at me. "You don't need to be concerned. I will take care of everything. This dump required a significant renovation. My mother agreed with me when I said it was uninhabitable. My gratitude is due to you." In a horrifying scene, I witnessed the removal of Grandma's antique rocking chair, Grandpa's hand-built bookcase, and the coffee table upon which I had diligently completed my homework for many years. "Stop!" I sobbed. "You can't throw those out." Unfortunately, the moment had passed. All I could do was stand there and watch as my memories were thrown out the window. With tears falling from my eyes, I contacted Mom that evening. "How could you let her do this?" My body erupted in tears. "This is my home." On the other side of the phone, there was a considerable lag. Even Mom's voice sounded frigid when she talked. "I own that house, so let's get that straight. I'm letting you reside there because it's in my heart to do so. I am the true heir. Perhaps we should reevaluate this arrangement if you are unable to comprehend it." It seemed like someone had punched me in the stomach. "You won't," I stutter-spoken. "Just be thankful and be quiet," Mom sternly told her. "Please, for the love of God, make an effort to treat your sister kinder. You're being helped by her." A dead end was reached. With my phone in my palm, I felt as though my entire world was collapsing. It took 2 weeks to finish the renovation. My life was gradually being replaced by Chloe's fashion sense every time I returned home. A clinical interior design magazine depicted the once cozy house where I had spent my formative years. I felt like an outsider in my own home as I stood in the living room after it was all over. White paint had replaced the once familiar floral wallpaper. The plush antique couch that Grandma had loved had been replaced with a hideous leather hulk that offered no more comfort than a rocking chair. No longer were the cherished family portraits displayed on the walls. Chloe took the master bedroom, so I had to withdraw to the second smallest bedroom. I couldn't escape the overwhelming sense that I was losing more than just my belongings. The bond I had formed with my grandparents and the life I had created here was slipping away. My worst fears were realized when Chloe chose to make our house into a wild party hub. A couple of pals over on a Friday night was the beginning, but before long it felt like you were living in a nightclub that never shut down. It seemed like Chloe's college pals would show up at the house every weekend. and occasionally even throughout the week. All of them shared her traits: affluent, conceited, and condescending toward those they saw as lower class, which obviously included me. I happened to overhear Chloe and her buddy having a conversation in the kitchen one night. I assure you I was not eavesdropping. I was merely attempting to get something to eat before I went to my room to get away from the mayhem. "Who's that?" I overheard a girl asking. "She looks kind of old to be here." An ear-piercing screech escaped Chloe's lips. "Michelle, that's all. It's as if she's some distant relative. She is allowed to work here as a maid by Mom." Not caring if they could hear, I banged the refrigerator shut. I was rushing back to my room, tears in my eyes. Where does her courage come from? How dare it? This was my home. After Chloe got out of bed at about noon the following morning, I went to face her. "No more parties," I declared, my voice barely audible as I protested. "This can't continue. It's becoming old to return home to an unfamiliar house full of people. The chaos, the noise, it's all too much." The expression on her face was one of annoyance. "You kill the energy, man. I see why you're so socially isolated." "This has nothing to do with friends," I stated. "The next-door residents are wailing. Because to your noise, the elderly and families with children who live next door are unable to sleep." By shrugging, Chloe indicated that it was not her concern. They should move if they can't handle a little fun. The doorbell sounded just as I was ready to give her the silent treatment. Looking exhausted and irritated, it was the neighbor, Mrs. Johnson. She spoke up and said, "Michelle, my darling, I'm sorry to be a nuisance, but these parties, they're becoming ridiculous. My rose bushes were the site of an unfortunate incident last night." My face flushed with embarrassment. "Excuse me, Mrs. Johnson, never again will this occur, I assure you," she said. I immediately turned to Chloe after shutting the door. "I'm done. No more gatherings. I am being quite serious here. Mom called me the following day." I should have anticipated Chloe's hasty approach to her. "Michelle," Mom said with a harsh tone, "are you attempting to exert dominion over your sister?" I inhaled deeply. "No, Mom, that's not how it is. There is no control over the parties. Apologies, but the neighbors are not happy." "The neighbors?" My mother abruptly ended our conversation. "The neighbors don't matter to anyone. There you are, attempting to sabotage your sister's efforts to meet people and have a typical college experience." "But, Mom—" "No buts," she yelled out. "I will not tolerate it if you disrupt Chloe's social life or her schoolwork. Do you get what I'm saying?" A sudden jolt went through my entire being. Every bit of resentment and fury that I had been repressing finally burst forth. "No, Mom, I'm confused," I muttered, my voice quivering with anguish. "My current situation is intolerable. You are free to return your beloved Chloe to Europe at your leisure, but I will no longer serve as her nanny and punching bag." I feared she would answer, so I abruptly ended the call. The task had been completed by me. At last I had spoken up for who I was. Another unexpected turn of events occurred right after I believed I had finally spoken out. Unannounced, Mom arrived at my doorway 1 week following my ultimatum. I had never seen her like this before. She appeared exhausted and worn out. She spoke in a trembling voice and said, "Michelle, we need to talk." My head whirling, I let her in. She arrived to take the house, to pull Chloe back across Europe. She instead delivered a surprise that left me whirling. Tears filling her eyes. "I'm sick, Michelle," she said. "The doctors, they don't think I have much time left." The floor seemed to have dropped under me. "What then? Mom, what are you talking about?" She then discussed several rare diseases using medical jargon I couldn't grasp. Mom was dying, though, and the main point was obvious. She responded, "That's why I need you, sweetheart," grasping my hand. "Chloe, she will need someone when I am away. Someone to be by her side and guide her. She will have you." I need to know. Should you perform well, I will also ensure your needs are met. You own the residence, free and clear. I blinks. But I already live in the house. Grandma's will. Mom waved a cheap hand dismissively. I am the main heir as Grandma's daughter. If I wanted to, I could claim at least half the house. My head went whirl. I need time to think, stuttered. Mom nodded, brushing away a tear. Of course, sweetie. I will be here for a few days. We have more to talk about. 2 days like this were strange. Mom praised Flo's great taste at every opportunity, fawning over the renovations she had done. I said nothing, terrified to criticize it rudely. The oddest aspect, though, was Flo's behavior. Someone had turned on a switch. The party girl was gone, replaced by a flawless angel who helped with dishes and talked in a sickeningly lovely voice. She even volunteered to prepare supper one evening, although I observed she bought takeout and tried to pass it off as her own cooking. Mom ate it both literally and symbolically. She said, "See how thoughtful your sister is?" cooing. "You two will be rather wonderful for one another." I could have wanted to shout. Mom could not see through this performance. But every time I opened my mouth to object, I thought of Mom's comments on the house and her illness. Could I honestly risk losing everything? Mom cornered me in the kitchen on the last night of her visit. With eyes begging, "Have you thought about what I said?" she questioned. I drew in a long breath. "Indeed," I answered at last. "I'll try, for you." Mom's expression brightened. Something she hadn't done in years, she drew me into an embrace. "I appreciate you, honey. You are not sure what this means to me. Knowing Flo would be in capable care, I can return to Europe." The ink had hardly dry when Mom left before Hurricane Flo returned grandly. Looking forward a peaceful evening, I left work early the next week and headed home. I knew something was odd as soon as I started down the street. Some Indian tracks had so strong bass that my car windows started to tremble. I came running through the front door to discover my worst dream realized. People crowded the house, drunk college students, dubious-looking older men, even a couple kissing on my grandmother's antique table. Chocolate. Over the music, I let out screams. W-H-E-R-E-A-R-E-Y-O-U. I grabbed hands and pushed through the throng, avoiding spilling drinks. Flo's room's door locked when I arrived. I booted it open without thinking. Flo was there, nodded with some man I had never seen before. Startled, they both raised their heads to me. "What they?" Flo shivered. "Get out." I felt something crack in me. All the resentment I had been storing for months burst forth. "Not, you left," I roared. "All of you. This celebration is past." Turning down the music, I rushed through the house, yelling at everybody to leave. I snatched the phone when they moved insufficiently. "I'm calling the police." I raised a yell. "Anyway, still here in 5 minutes is getting arrested." That started them on a motion. The house went empty in record time, leaving behind a mess that turned my stomach over. Rising from her bed, Flo's face contorted with fury. She spit, "What the hell is wrong with you? You simply get jealous since I know how to have fun. Well, let me say something. I was expelled out of college, hence right now I may party whenever I want, and there is nothing you can do about it." Something inside me snapped. I reached for her arm and hauled her to the front door without thinking. Sure. See me." I pushed her outdoors, then hurried back to her room. I hauled armloads of her luxury clothing out into the grass. "Are you looking to have fun? Go to another party somewhere else." With a raspy voice, I yelled. Neighbors had gathered by now, attracted by the disturbance. Mrs. Johnson's voice said something about how it was about time I stood up for myself, but I didn't care about the audience. I cared about nothing at all. My phone rang while I remained sat on the floor, back against the front door. The name Mom displayed on the screen. Breathing deeply, I responded, getting ready for the storm. "How dare you?" Mom's words sliced angrily over the speaker. "Chloe just gave me a tearful call. After all I have done for you, you lazy little reptile." I laughed, a true, honest laugh bubbling up from somewhere deep inside me, and cut her off. "Everything you have done for me." My voice surprisingly steady, I said, "Mom, that's rich, truly rich. Don't you approach me, young lady, in that tone." Mom started to snarl. "I'll remind you that that house's legitimate successor is me. I could take it away from you with a quick finger snap." I started to grin over my face. "No, Mom, you are not able. Yesterday I visited with a lawyer. Grandma's will is absolutely strong. She turned everything over to me. Not you. Less than not Chloe, not. Mine. And you have no control over it either." Mom seemed to be breathing shackily. Her voice had changed totally as she spoke once more. "Let us not be hurried now, Michelle. We can surely work something out. If you bring Chloe back, I'll make it worthwhile. I have properties in Europe, a vineyard and a seafront home. All of it might be yours." For a second, I considered it. Sounds great from a villa near the water. But then I thought back to the tranquility I had experienced in the minutes following Chloe's expulsion, that relief at last defending myself. There was no villa worth giving that up. "Thanks, but no thanks," I answered with great conviction. "Grandma left her savings with me. For me to live comfortably, it is more than plenty. Nothing from you is either wanted or needed." I hung up straight away, blocking Chloe's number as well as hers. Sitting in the silent house, I sensed a weight release from my shoulders. Possibly for the first time ever, for the first time in years, I was really free. The next few weeks were a mumble of activity. I poured myself, both physically and metaphorically, into straightening the wreckage Chloe left behind. I cleaned floors, painted walls, and started gently to take back my space. Mrs. Johnson stated something one day as I was chatting across the fence that caused my heart to skip a beat. "You know," she remarked casually, "I noticed some furniture at the flea market last week that looked exactly like your grandmother's old pieces. Though I felt it was unfortunate to see it there, I reasoned you must have sold it during the restoration." I went to my car after thanking her, my pulse thumping. I was meandering about the flea market 1 hour later, and there were Grandma's old rocking chair, Grandpa's bookcase, even the coffee table where I had studied for years. I paid a fraction of what they were worth to buy them all back off from. As I hugged the rocking chair, tears in my eyes, the merchant stared at me oddly. I didn't give a damn. Turned one of the extra bedrooms into a copy of Grandma's old living room over the next several days. I felt as I set the familiar furniture and hung the old family pictures back on the walls that I was reconstructing more than simply a room. I was reconstructing my relationship to the folks who had loved me without conditions. Years have gone by since then. Right now, the house is calm and peaceful. Sometimes I consider all that has happened about Mom and Chloe and the life I thought I wanted, while seated in Grandma's rocking rocker, reading a book or simply savoring the quiet. Knowing I had severed links to the only family I have left, I will not pretend it doesn't hurt occasionally. Then I look about the house I have recovered at the life I have created for myself, and I know I made the correct decision.
Hey, I'm Sherry, a 32-year-old traffic cop. I've got a badge, a whistle, and a never-ending curiosity. Life's been pretty solid. I love my job keeping the streets safe. And then there's Liam, my husband. He's 34, a hotshot real estate agent with a smile so smooth he could sell ice to an Eskimo. But here's the kicker. I'm adopted. Yep, plot twist right at the start. I've always known, but lately it's been nagging at me. Who are my birth parents? Why'd they give me up? Do I have my mom's eyes or my dad's nose? One morning, I'm at our kitchen table, fiddling with my coffee mug, deep in thought. Liam walks in, suited up for work. "You okay, babe?" You look like you're trying to solve world peace over that coffee. I take a deep breath. Liam, I think I want to find my birth parents. He freezes for a second, then sits across from me. Are you sure? That's a big step. I know, but I can't shake this feeling. I need to know where I came from. Liam nods, but he looks a bit pale. If that's what you want, I support you 100%. I smile, feeling a weight lift. Thanks, Honorable. I've been thinking about hiring a private investigator. A PI? Isn't that a bit much? He asks, eyebrows raised. I shrug. Maybe. But I don't know where else to start. I've got a name, Sam Cooper. Supposed to be the best in the business. Liam nods again, but it's like he's mentally solving a Rubik's Cube. Okay, if that's what you want. Just be careful. Always am. Officer safety, remember. That afternoon, I meet with Sam. He's got the whole noir detective vibe, trench coat and all. So, Miss Sherry, what can you tell me about your adoption? I hand him a folder. Not much. Born June 15, 1992, at St. Mary's Hospital. Adopted 2 weeks later through Sunshine Adoptions. That's about it. Sam flips through the papers. No medical history? Nothing. Blank slate, I say. He nods, scribbling in a notebook. All right, I'll dig through hospital records and agency files. It's not much, but it's a start. How long do you think it'll take? I ask, trying to ignore the butterflies in my stomach. Sam leans back, tapping his pen. Hard to say. Could be weeks, maybe months. These things are never straightforward. I nod, trying to stay calm. Okay, just keep me posted, yeah? Will do, Miss Sherry. And hey, you sure do want to do this? Sometimes the past is better left in the past. I straighten up, adjusting my uniform. Unsure, I need to know. Later, I get a text from Liam. Everything okay? Love you. I reply, all good. Pay is on the case. Love you too. But as I hit send, I can't shake this feeling that I'm standing on the edge of a cliff, ready to leap into the unknown. 2 months crawl by. Sam sends vague updates, making progress, following leads. But it's Liam who's really throwing me off. My usually chatty husband has turned into a clam. One night, I'm on the couch scrolling through my phone when he walks in and practically jumps out of his skin. Geez, Jerry, didn't see you there. I've been here for an hour. You okay? He runs a hand through his hair, avoiding eye contact. Yeah, just work stuff. But I don't buy it. Something feels off. The next day at work, I'm knee-deep in paperwork when my partner, Tanya, drops a file on my desk. Hit and run on 5th and Main. Victims in the hospital, but get this, the perp? Some big-shot businessman, Victor Reeves. Ring any bells? I whistle. The real estate mogul. Yeah, I've seen his mug on billboards. Tanya leans in. Word is he's got connections. Might get messy. As we head out to canvass the scene, I spill my guts to Tanya. So get this, I hired a PI to find my birth parents. Her eyes widen. No way, any luck. Sam says he's making progress, but Liam's been acting weird ever since I started this. Weird how? Jumpy. Distracted. Like he's hiding something. Maybe he's planning a surprise, she jokes. I snort. Yeah, surprise. I've been keeping your birth parents in our basement for years. We both laugh, but that uneasy feeling lingers. Later that afternoon, my phone rings. It's Sam. Sherry, I've got news. Big news. But it's complicated. Can you meet at my office? Heart pounding, I rush over. Sam looks exhausted. Sit down, Sherry. I found your birth mother. The world stopped spinning. You did. Who is she? Where? Sam holds up a hand. That's the complicated part. Your birth mother is Linda Hawthorne. I blink, confused. Linda Hawthorne? As in, Liam's mom. My mother-in-law. Sam nods slowly. I triple-checked. It's her. The room spins. I grab the desk to steady myself. But that's impossible. Liam would have known. He would have told me. Then it hits me. Liam's strange behavior. His nervousness when I mentioned the PI. He knew, I whisper. He knew all along. Before Sam can stop me, I'm out the door, driving home like a woman possessed. Liam is in the living room when I burst in. Did you know? My voice shakes. Did you know that your mother is my birth mother? That where? Oh God, are we related? Liam goes pale. Sherry, I can explain. Explain what? That your mom is my birth mom. That. No, we're not related, I swear, he says, frantic. I found out when we started dating. I saw a picture of you as a baby in my mom's old things, and I knew. Liam's voice wavers, his eyes wide with guilt. My stomach churns. I feel like I'm going to be sick. And you never thought to tell me or tell her? I wanted to. But Mom, she doesn't know. She thinks you're just her daughter-in-law. I was afraid, if she found out. Before I can respond, Liam's phone rings. He answers it, and as I watch, all the color drains from his face. What? When? We'll be right there, he says. He looks at me, his eyes filled with fear. It's Mom. She's been in a car accident. We need to get to the hospital. Now. And just like that, my world tilts on its axis again. The fluorescent lights at the hospital feel harsh, giving me a headache. Or maybe it's the weight of everything I'm trying to process. Liam and I rush through the emergency room doors, and there she is, Linda. My mother-in-law. My birth mother. She looks so small in that hospital bed, bruised and hooked up to machines. Oh, Sherry, Liam, thank goodness you're here, Linda says, her voice weak but relieved. I freeze, unsure how to react. Do I hug her? Cry? Scream? I can't move. Liam squeezes my hand, silently pleading with me to keep it together. Hey Mom, he says, his voice cracking. How are you feeling? Linda gives us an update. Broken arm, some bruised ribs, nothing life-threatening. I nod along, feeling detached from the moment, like I'm watching it all unfold from outside my body. This woman gave birth to me, and she has no idea. Later in the hallway, Liam pulls me aside. Sherry, please, he whispers, his voice desperate. We can't tell her. Not now, it would destroy her. I want to laugh, or maybe cry. Destroy her? What about me, Liam? Do you have any idea what this is doing to me? His eyes are filled with regret. I know, and I'll tell you everything, I swear. Just, not here, not now. I take a deep breath, counting to 10 in my head. Fine, but when we get home, you're telling me everything. No more secrets. The drive home is silent, heavy with unspoken words. As soon as we walk through the door, I round on Liam. Talk. Now. He collapses onto the couch, looking defeated. Mom had me when she was 16. It was complicated. She was dating this older guy, Victor Reeves. My cop instincts kick in. Wait, Victor Reeves? The hit-and-run suspect? Liam nods. Yeah, that's him. He's probably my father, but Mom never confirmed it. Anyway, 2 years after I was born, she got pregnant again. But Victor, he forced her to give the baby up for adoption. He threatened to take me away if she didn't. My head spins. And that baby was me, I whisper. Lamb looks up, guilt etched on his face. I found out when we started dating. I saw a baby picture of you at Mom's house, and I just knew. I did some digging, confirmed it, but I was scared. If I told you, I thought I'd lose you. If I told Mom, it would bring up all the pain she tried to bury. I start pacing, trying to make sense of it all. So you just decided to keep this massive secret. Let me search for my birth parents while you knew the truth all along. I'm sorry, Liam says, his voice barely a whisper. I thought I was protecting everyone. But something isn't adding up. Liam, if Victor Reeves is your father and your mom's ex, why is he still involved? Why was he in a hit and run in our city? Liam looks confused. I don't know. Mom hasn't mentioned him in years. A horrible thought strikes me. Liam, what if the hit and run wasn't an accident? What if it's connected to all of this somehow? He pales. You don't think? I don't know what to think, I say, already grabbing my coat, but I need to go back to the hospital. There's something I need to check. What are you going to do? Liam asks, looking worried. I pause at the door. Something that could get me fired if I'm caught. But I need to know the truth. Back at the hospital, I wait until the night shift starts, then quietly slip into Linda's room. I carefully swab the inside of her cheek while she sleeps, then head home and do the same to Liam while he's passed out on the couch. As I seal the DNA samples in evidence bags, my hands are shaking. This is it, the moment of truth. Whatever these results show, there's no going back. I stare at the sealed bags, feeling the weight of my badge in my pocket. I'm crossing a line here, using police resources for personal reasons. But I need answers. I need answers. And something tells me this goes much deeper than a long-lost family reunion. As I drive to the lab, my mind is racing. Victor Reeves, the hit and run, Linda's accident, my adoption. How does it all connect? And more importantly, what am I going to do when I finally uncover the truth? The DNA results hit me like a ton of bricks. Linda is my mother, but Liam? He's not even related to me. My entire life feels like a lie unraveling in slow motion. I confront Linda at the hospital. She breaks down, finally spilling everything. Victor Reeves had threatened to take Liam away if she didn't give me up. She's been carrying the weight of that guilt for years. Using my cop instincts, I dig into Victor's past. What I find is a cesspool of fraud, blackmail, and manipulation. Keeping up with Tanya, we plan a sting operation. It's risky, but it pays off. We catch Victor red-handed, not only for the hit and run, but also for his long list of past crimes against Linda and countless others. As for Liam, I can't forgive him for all the years of deception. Our marriage is over. He loses his real estate license when his involvement with Victor's fraud comes to light. It's the end of our relationship, but the beginning of a new chapter for me. Now I'm focusing on my career and personal growth. Linda and I have a cautious, delicate relationship. It's not perfect, but at least now, it's honest. Looking back, this journey has been painful, but it's also made me stronger. I've learned that family isn't just about blood. It's about trust and honesty. As I sit at my desk at the precinct, I can't help but smile. I've survived the lies, the betrayal, and somehow, I've come out stronger. I'm Sherry, traffic cop extraordinaire, and I'm ready for whatever life throws at me next. Hey, Tanya. I call out to my partner, grabbing my hat. Ready to hit the streets? She grins, tossing me my badge. Born ready, partner. As we head out into the city, I feel a sense of peace. The truth may have turned my world upside down, but it's also set me free, and that's a kind of justice I never knew I needed. Now I have a question for you. If you were in Sherry's shoes, would you have confronted Linda with the truth right away, or kept it secret to protect her? How far would you go to uncover the truth about your past, even if it meant risking your current relationships? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Hey everyone, I'm Victoria, buried under textbooks and desperately cramming for my business administration finals at this fancy university in Boston. My roommate, Maya, walks in, looking like she hasn't slept in days. Victoria, you're still going at it. It's 2 a.m. I rub my eyes, realizing I've completely lost track of time. Yeah, Professor Adams's exam is going to be brutal. I can't afford to slack off now. Maya flops onto her bed. At least you've got Jack to study with. I saw you two at the library earlier. Anything happening there? My cheeks heat up. Oh, stop it. We're just friends. Just then, my phone buzzes. It's my sister, Diana. I hesitate before answering. Victoria. Oh my God, you'll never guess what's happening. Her voice is nearly a scream. I pull the phone away from my ear. Diana, it's late. What's going on? Eric is going to propose. I just know it. He's been acting so secretive and romantic lately. I sigh, already knowing where this is headed. That's great, Diana. Congrats. But listen, I need you to plan the surprise engagement party. It has to be perfect. My stomach drops. Diana, I can't. My finals are... Oh, come on. This is way more important than some silly tests. Mom and Dad's restaurant would be perfect for the venue, and I'm thinking at least 100 guests. I try to interject, but she keeps going, steamrolling over me with demands and ideas. Maya shoots me a sympathetic look. Diana, I really can't. These exams are crucial for my future. Future. Please, this is about family. Don't be so selfish, Victoria. Guilt creeps in, as it always does. Our immigrant parents worked so hard to give us these opportunities. Diana's always been the successful one, and I hear myself give in. Fine, I'll figure something out. As I hang up, Maya shakes her head. Victoria, you can't keep letting her walk all over you like that. I bury my face in my hands. I know, but she's family. What am I supposed to do? Maya gets up and hugs me. We'll figure it out together. But for now, you need sleep. As I try to drift off, my mind races. How am I going to balance party planning with my exams? And why do I always let Diana manipulate me like this? Little did I know, this was just the beginning of a drama that would turn my life upside down. A few days later, I'm hunched over my laptop in the campus library, trying to make sense of the party budget, when Jack slides into the seat across from me. Hey Victoria, you look stressed. I rub my temples. That obvious, huh? Want to talk about it? I spill everything about Diana's ridiculous demands. Jack's eyes widen as I list off the extravagances. A chocolate fountain for an engagement party, and a live band, and over 100 guests. Jack whistles. That's insane. How are you supposed to afford all that? I'm not. That's the problem. My phone buzzes. It's Diana again. I answer, putting it on speaker. Victoria, I've been thinking. We need to change the venue. Mom and Dad's restaurant is too small. I found this amazing ballroom downtown. Diana, stop. We can't afford that. I'm already stretching my budget. Your budget. This is my engagement we're talking about. Remember when I helped you move into your dorm? You owe me. I feel my face flush with anger and embarrassment. Jack raises an eyebrow. That's not the same thing, and you know it. I say. Whatever. Just make it happen. Oh, and I decided Maya and Jack can't help. I don't trust them to do it right. She hangs up before I can respond. I look at Jack, mortified. I'm so sorry about that. He shakes his head. Don't apologize for her, Victoria. You need to stand up to her. Later that week, I'm in Professor Adams' office trying to explain my recent poor performance without mentioning Diana. Victoria, you're one of my brightest students. What's going on? I stammer through a vague excuse about family obligations. He doesn't look convinced. That night, I'm on the phone with Diana again. My patience wearing thin. For the last time, we can't afford pyrotechnics. You're not even trying. This is the most important day of my life. Something in me snaps. No, Diana. Your wedding would be the most important day. This is just an engagement party that your boyfriend doesn't even know about. How dare you? You've always been jealous of me. Just because you're in college doesn't make you better than me. I'm stunned by the venom in her voice. Is that what you think? That I'm trying to be better than you? Oh please, with your fancy degree and your perfect grades. Some of us had to work in the real world. Diana, I am working. These exams are my job right now. They're important for my future. She scoffs. Future? Wake up, Victoria. A piece of paper won't guarantee you success. Look at me. I'm the one with the amazing career and the perfect boyfriend. Tears prick my eyes. If your life is so perfect, why do you need me to validate it with this ridiculous party? There's a long silence, and when Diana speaks again, her voice is icy. You know what? Forget it. I'll plan it myself. Don't bother showing up. She hangs up, and I sit there, phone in hand, feeling a strange mix of relief and guilt. Did I just ruin my relationship with my sister? And why do I still feel bad when she's the one being unreasonable? I stare at my phone, my finger hovering over the block contact button next to Diana's name. You okay? Maya asks, watching me from her bed. I nod, not trusting my voice. She doesn't push, but I can see the concern in her eyes. The next few days blur into a mess of textbooks and coffee. I'm in the library, trying to focus on macroeconomics, when Jack slides into the seat next to me. Hey, how's it going? I gesture to the mountain of papers around me. Oh, living the dream. He chuckles, then his expression turns serious. Listen, Maya and I have been looking into something. I raise an eyebrow. What kind of something? It's about Diana and Eric. We found some stuff online that's concerning. My stomach drops. What kind of stuff? Jack pulls out his laptop and shows me some articles and court documents. As I start reading, I feel like I'm going to be sick. Eric is under investigation for embezzlement, a history of fraud. Jack continues, his voice quiet. And there's more. We dug into Diana's financials. She's not as successful as she claims. She's drowning in debt. I shake my head, not wanting to believe it. How? She's always bragging about her big commissions, her designer clothes. It's all a front. Credit card debt, loans. She's living way beyond her means. I sit back stunned. All those demands for an extravagant party. Was she expecting me to foot the bill? The next few days pass in a haze. I go through my exams on autopilot, my mind reeling from everything I've learned. After my last test, I walk out feeling a mix of relief and dread. My phone buzzes with messages from my parents. Victoria, call us immediately. Why would you abandon your sister like this? We raised you better than that. My hands shake as I dial. Victoria, how could you do this to Diana? My mom's voice is sharp with disappointment. Do what? What did she tell you? She said you refused to help with her engagement party. That you told her you were too good for family now that you're in college. Anger surges through me. That's not what happened at all. Then explain, my dad says, his voice calm but stern. So I do. I tell them everything. Diana's unreasonable demands, the pressure she put on me during my exams, the guilt tripping. I even tell them about Eric's shady past and Diana's financial troubles. There's a long silence when I finish. Finally, my mom speaks, her voice softer now. Oh, Victoria, why didn't you tell us sooner? Tears well up in my eyes. I didn't want to disappoint you. Diana's always been the successful one, and I thought, sweetheart, my dad interrupts, we're proud of you. Your education is important. We had no idea Diana was putting so much pressure on you. We talk for a while longer, and for the first time in weeks, I feel like I can breathe. But I know this isn't over. Diana won't take this lying down, and I have a feeling the real storm is yet to come. I text Maya and Jack. We need to talk. It's time to confront Diana. The next evening, I walk into my parents' restaurant. The familiar smell of spices does little to calm my nerves. Maya and Jack flank me, their presence reassuring. My parents are already there, setting up for our family dinner. Diana sweeps in fashionably late, as usual. Sorry I'm late, traffic was terrible. She pauses, noticing Maya and Jack. What are they doing here? Before I can respond, my dad speaks up. Diana, sit down, we need to talk. Her eyes narrow. About what? I take a deep breath. About everything, your engagement party, the lies, all of it. For the next hour, I lay it all out, the unreasonable demands, the guilt tripping, the years of manipulation. My parents listen, their faces growing more troubled with each revelation. You've been lying about your success. My mom's voice is barely above a whisper. Diana scoffs. Please, like Little Miss Perfect here, hasn't been exaggerating. No, Diana, my dad interrupts firmly. This isn't about Victoria, it's about you. Just then, the door chimes. We all turn to see Eric walk in, looking confused at the tense atmosphere. Did I miss something? He asks. Diana jumps up. Eric, thank goodness you're here. Tell them about our engagement plans. Eric's confusion deepens. Engagement plans? What are you talking about? The room goes silent. Diana's face pales. The proposal, you've been acting so secretive lately, I thought. Eric runs a hand through his hair. Diana. Eric shifts uncomfortably, his gaze dropping. That wasn't a secret project, Diana. I'm under investigation for financial irregularities at work. The truth spills out, Eric's fraudulent activities, his impending legal troubles. Diana collapses into a chair, her carefully constructed world crumbling around her. In the aftermath of this revelation, I make the difficult decision to cut ties with her. It's painful, but for my own well-being, it's necessary. Weeks later, I stand in my graduation gown, diploma in hand. Despite everything, I've managed to graduate with honors and even landed a prestigious internship. Maya and Jack are cheering from the audience, and my parents beam with pride as we celebrate at a small, intimate gathering afterward. My phone buzzes with a news alert. Eric has been arrested for embezzlement. I feel a twinge of sadness for Diana, but quickly push it aside. Just then, another message comes through. It's from Diana. Congratulations on graduating. I know I messed up. Can we talk? I stare at the text for a long moment, then delete it without responding. I've learned the hard way that some toxic relationships aren't worth saving, no matter how much history you share. As I look around at the people who truly support me, my parents, Maya, Jack, and even Professor Adams, who has dropped by to congratulate me, I feel a sense of peace. I've weathered the storm and come out stronger on the other side. Hey, what are you thinking about? Maya asks, noticing my distraction. I smile, slipping my phone into my pocket, just grateful for the people who really have my back. We laugh and celebrate, and I know that whatever challenges come next, I'm ready to face them on my own terms. The story has come to an end, but I have a question for you. If you were in my shoes, would you have given Diana another chance after everything that happened, or do you think cutting ties was the right call? It's a tough situation many of us face with toxic family members. Where do we draw the line between family loyalty and self-preservation? Share your thoughts in the comments below.